Hello everybody, it's me, Lila, Gma Rides, and I'm here with another book to show you today. It's made out of masonite, and that's just a fancy name for that brown kind of particle, not really particle board, but lightweight stuff that they make clipboards and things out of. It's got about 160 pages. I cut and curved this spine, which is quite a process. It's also got 3 raised panels. It has some antiquing on it. I thought it turned out pretty cool there. It also looks like it's been around for a while. The edges are silver gilding wax. It's tongue-tied there for a moment. The cover comes with the bookmaking class I took from Nick the Booksmith on Teachables. It's her Philadelphia series if you're interested, and the pricing is pretty reasonable. It just teaches you how to make the book cover. It doesn't teach you how to make the stuffings, so to speak. But I already knew how to do that, so I didn't need that bit. So, let me show you. Did I tell you about 160 pages? I know, isn't it huge? I love it though. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it. I put a protective coating on it. I mean, it wouldn't be good to leave out in a rainstorm, but, you know, like I set a cup of coffee on one the other day inadvertently, and it turned out like it didn't take up the covering or anything, so that was good. The inside, the pages have been sewn into the book and put in with some fabric, and it's mounted on some Tyvek and some other really sturdy material. So I think it's going to last a long time. I did a lot of sewing on this just to kind of highlight the edges, and then I put some things in here in these tuck spots. It's primarily a bee journal. Can you tell? I also bought a digi-kit from Nick the Booksmith on Etsy featuring bees because I thought, well, why not? And I supplemented that with some pages that I had done some tea staining on and some coffee dyed typing paper type stuff. You know, it's just copy paper. But then you dye it with the coffee, you let it dry, you make sure it's nice and flat, and then you can run it through your printer, and it looks like vintage old pages. I also added a lot of places that you can tuck things in. I've done some stenciling along the edges and any place where I thought it needed to be fluffed up just a little bit. This is an avocado dyed page. It's avocado skins, and you take and you boil them down, and then you add some other stuff to make sure they hold their color well. This is chai tea, believe it or not, to give you that color. I thought it looked pretty interesting. Some of these pages are from 12 by 12 pieces of, I guess it's cardstock, and you cut it down and you can then run that through your printer too, which is how I got this design on the back side, because usually it's just a boring white color. I also learned how to use my Sizzix machine and made that. It's a bee, if you can't tell. And as I said, lots of places to tuck things. I mean, you don't have to use this to write about bees. You can use it for a journal. It says it's about scrapbooking on the front. And I think it would make a great scrapbook. You have all kinds of pages available here to write things on, to mount books on, that sort of thing. Hang on. Had to reset my phone. I'm filming this on my phone. And this is again from that digi-kit I got from Nick. I have followed my usual habit and gutted some dictionary pages, done some stamping. I told you I did some stenciling. I glued on some other interesting little bits. Some of these page edges are secured on I don't think I did a lot of sewing on this one because I was between sewing machines. There's graph paper in this book in case you need to graph something. I don't personally graph much of anything, but I thought it was a cool look. I did make this page. I thought that looked kind of cool too. And this is from a DigiKit that I already had just to print lines, which I think is kind of handy if you need the discipline of having lines to follow. I tried to make sure there were lots of things with lines in here. Isn't that pretty? I love the way some of these pages turned out during the dyeing process. I also like the way it sounds when I turn the pages. Little bits of other random books that I popped in here. I tend to hoard books like from the 30s, and I have some from the teens. And I take one or two pages out here and there and just pop them into a book. Sometimes I bind them in, and sometimes I just tuck them into one of the tuck spots. And sometimes I take stencils and stamps and embellish the pages that way. But if you notice, it's not so dark that you couldn't write over the top of it, which I think is kind of cool. Anyway, there's lots of interesting things in here to look at, think about. It's a great thing to put your ideas in for things you want to do, places you want to go. And if you just want to write down what your thoughts are and not share them with anybody else, you can do that too. I thought this was so cool. Isn't that neat? I happened to have some friends give me some really old magazines from their family, and I've been parceling them out, and it's been a lot of fun. I always wind up looking and looking at stuff. It's like, oh, then maybe I better get back to the task at hand. So I do. But anyway, that's what this book is. And I hope that you have enjoyed looking at it as much as I did creating it. Here's a little notebook you can just take out and stuff in your pocket and take it with you. A little book plate for you to put your name in. And, oh, I meant to put one of my stickers in here. Hang on, let me do that really quickly. Because it's me, Gma Rides. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to do so. I generally put motorcycle traveling and gear and that kind of stuff up there, but I've kind of branched out into this lately since it's not really been seasonable for riding. Right now it's been in the 40s here in Tacoma, and so it's been kind of funky weather-wise. But anyway, I do still have some more stuff from lots of other travels that I will pop in there pretty soon. Okay? But if you've enjoyed this, please give it a like, and you can share it, or don't share. I mean, it's up to you. Leave me a comment. Do you scrapbook or journal? Junk journal, I guess, is what people call it these days. It used to be called scrapbooking. But isn't that pretty? I just love the way it turned out. Okay, I'll see you next time.